What is going on, my YouTube friends? Not my Patreon friends. Glasses are falling off my face. Look at this. It's because they're broken. I've had blue tape since I ran out of the black tape. Anyways, what's going on, my friends? My friend PJ sent me a Patreon request. Let me just pull this up. We got Dre Scott Feelings live. I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's a nice little room. Nice little, like, half a drum kit. Not quite like a cocktail setup, but, like, yeah, this looks like it's going to be nice. Mostly vocals. I honestly don't know what I'm getting into. So I appreciate y'all being here. If this is your first time checking me out, I've got a background in live music and production. I used to be like a sound guy for a long time. And that's usually the kind of angle I bring, but I've been doing lots of studio stuff lately. So I've been trying to talk about that a lot too. But I appreciate this request. My friend, I said your name, right? PJ. I want to make sure I said your name. If you want to send me any requests, if you want to support the channel, I've got a PayPal and a Patreon link in the description box. We've also got some merch and a lot of original content on the channel. It's mostly under the like podcast section, which it isn't all podcasting. There is some of that there. But there's original content. If you guys want to check that out, it helps support the channel a whole bunch. Let's check this out.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Just because I can? Here, 1 second. I'm going to use the same mic. I'm going to use the same mic just for the sake of the example. I'm just going to use the same mic because I'll probably end up talking about it. So here we go. Oh, what a coincidence.
You tell me all these things like I need you. Is it true? Don't wanna walk away, but you can make me stay. It's your move. If you choose, it's so beautiful.
That's too much. There's too much to unpack. I gotta go back a little bit. So I'll save the microphone talk majority for the end. It's a 87. It says a beta 87 from Shure. They're really nice. They're really crispy. It kind of has that, like, it's a little quiet. It kind of has that like kind of podcast feel, but it's got a lot more sibilance than that first microphone that I was using. It's a lot easier to manage in that like kind of high end and in the clarity stuff. And when you're singing in like your head voice, your falsetto, or like your mixed and stuff like that, sometimes you don't always have the energy or like the tonal availability, I guess, to really dictate your words. So using something like this is, I'm pretty sure it's like more like a hypercardio. Like it's more like a condenser mic than say the one I was using before, like a dynamic mic, or like what the backing vocalists are singing into. They're just not as crispy. So they just want to give you as much clarity when your voice is compromised is probably the wrong word, but like when you're singing in a more, I guess, compromised position. There'll be a vocal coach talk about that better than I will, but like it's just like it's a more gentle register, and this will help with that a little bit. It's a little bit hotter, and it's got a little bit more like kind of top crispy, sibilancy stuff to it. So, and like I haven't set this up, I just grabbed it like literally right there. So like I could probably make it sound a little different, but anyways, I digress. Let's keep going. My man's voice is beautiful. My man's voice is beautiful.
Is it true? Don't wanna walk away, but you can make me stay. It's your move. If you choose, it's so beautiful, you and me. And I can make your dreams come true. Oh, baby, we can stay this long. I just need to know. Let me show you. You got me feeling.
All right, let's talk about this. So the drum kit's actually pretty neat. So it's just kick, snare, hat. Very simple. It's only got like one mic, I think, each, and then he's got like a digital pad, like instead of other cymbals and toms and stuff. That's all cool. The hi-hat, he's actually getting a lot more out of than I was kind of anticipating until I kind of saw it. So you can play with a couple parts of the stick. You can play with like the nib on the end, like you can point it kind of and like hit the thing, or you can hit like on like the throaty part of it, and like you kind of get more of like this. It's kind of throaty. It's kind of mid sounding. Trying to be careful with my words. And he's switching. So he's using the nib on the edge of the hi-hat, and it's real crispy and real, like, it's just keeping time. But then in place of, wow, like a splash cymbal or something to accent, he's hitting like the bell of the hi-hat with the neck of the stick, the throaty part of the stick. So you kind of get this like flatter sounding kind of cymbal sound, I guess, that like contrasts the like brittle part of the hi-hat. And it is like what they consider like a trash hi-hat or like a worn hi-hat. So it's like a little bit more in the mid section already, but that's just kind of giving emphasis when you have less pieces to play with. Like, there's no splash cymbals, there's no crash cymbals or anything like that. So it's a way of adding emphasis to that. That was a lot of talk about a hi-hat. The vocals sounded beautiful, man. The harmonies coming in there, like, just stunning. They're dynamic microphones. Those are Shure SM58s. They're like the most popular microphones. They're everywhere. They have a sound though. Like, they have a real low mid, like, present sounding vocal. That is, from what I can tell in this mic, yeah, it does sound a lot like this. It's fairly similar. But like, if I started pushing the top end, maybe I'll do that after. It starts getting really crispy in the top end, and the SM58 is just harder to get that. It's got more like low mid presence, which sometimes can be like a little muddy in vocals, and they've obviously got that all addressed. But the singers, man, and the harmony choices that they were singing it's not like where my ear immediately goes. So that's something that pulls my attention back to the track. And I don't know, I appreciate that. That was a long way of saying that I really appreciated that section.
I just need to know. Let me show you. You got me feeling all of these feelings. I need to know, am I tripping? It's too soon to call it love. I know you're feeling all of these feelings. Let me know if you're with it. You just got to tell me now. Just gotta say it, baby.
Now. That was clean. That was real clean.
Just got to tell me now. Just gotta say it, baby. Don't be playing. Yeah, me impatient. Don't keep me waiting. Just gotta say it, baby. Don't be playing. Yeah, me impatient. Don't keep me waiting.
Oh, see, this microphone again would pick that up better than the SM58 would. But anyways.
Feels alright. We can spend the night. Wanna know how you feel. Gotta know that it's real. Hands around your waist. Waiting for the day. Now it's on you. Baby, you're so good. You and me. And I can make your dreams come true, baby.
Those runs are clean. They're so clean. No, come on, man. That was the only part I could sing back. That was the only section I could sing back.
I just need to know. Let me show you. Let me show you. Got me feeling all of these feelings.
Wah pedal's nasty too.
I need to know, am I tripping? It's too soon to call it love. I know you're feeling. I know these feelings. I know. If you're ready, you just got to tell me now. Just got to tell me
Do it again, my friend. Wow.
Well, you just gotta say it, baby. Don't be playing. Yeah, me impatient. Don't in the way.
Oh, he shouted him out. I was gonna say, what did he just say there? I think he said less. I think that's the bass player. Because bass player's going crazy right now. Oh, it's fretless. So the fret, I don't know all the like technical stuff behind this. The fret is like a piece of metal, so it would add a certain sound against like a metal string, right? That makes sense. So when you take the frets off, you kind of lose a little bit of that top end again. So it gives you more like the flat wound kind of like real groovy, real pocket funky sound of bass, right? It's like it was like the step forward from upright basses, I guess, right? Before they started putting frets in them. So, but it's just like it's interesting, man. It's got like a really unique sound to it. It's got a really cool sound to it. We recorded. This will come out next month. I recorded like a 1974, 1976 Fender P bass, probably similar to this. It was in a yellow, also fretless, just beautiful, beautiful instrument.
Don't keep me waiting for you.
Love their smiles too. Having fun now. Ooh, he's having a blast now, man. How could you not? I like it. What a singer, though, man. What a voice. Like, he spent a lot of time in that high register of his. You know what I mean? And I like that, man. I like that. There's a lot of confidence. He sounded great. It looked effortless the whole entire time, if I'm being perfectly honest. Didn't it? Didn't it? Like, it looked like that took no effort from him at all. And I want that all in love. Nobody can misconstrue that for anything. But these are cool mics, man. Like, I have one. I'm not gonna sit here and play with it in front of y'all and make it like sound differently, but like you can just get a lot out of it. So like microphones, you kind of gotta, especially in today, it's basically just like a funnel for information. So it takes the source, me in this case, but anything like if it was louder, if it was pointed that way, you can hear my fan, like everything, right? It takes the source and it converts it through stuff into information, and each microphone will capture different amounts of those ones and zeros to make the like what we hear back, right? And so like if you get something that gives you a whole bunch of like quality capture in like the high mid and like all the places of the vocals, now you can get a really, really, really clear sounding vocal after the fact instead of having to like force it into something, right? So my predictions, my guesses, we got singers out there as to why he had this microphone was because it helps. Like the SM58s, like you really gotta hit them really hard to get the sounds that you want out of them. And then from there, you gotta change it a lot. Like it's not just like a plug and go for a vocal like this, in my opinion, right? This one, like my voice is probably a little too low for this microphone, like specifically. I like these mics, so I have one. But you can leave it a little bit, so you can leave the proximity of it a little more. You can kind of like get back here a little bit, and like I'll have a compressor and things that'll like pick that up, and so will he. But again, back to the information conversation, like that will still pick up enough information for me to get a good recording. Whereas some of these dynamic microphones, like this 7B I was using before, this one here, it picks up like next to nothing. Like when you get up here, right? So you can like lay right into it. You can put this on a kick drum and it would be okay. And that's when it sounds good, is when you light it up. But this, you don't quite need that. You just don't need to send it as much information to get the same kind of good quality out of it. But anyway, I dug it, man. I think it was a great choice. I love the like really simple setup. I think that if you can still get a good bop out of that simple a setup, man, then you got something going on. You know what I mean? Shout out to the backing vocalist. I love the smiles. The vocals are beautiful. They all look beautiful. The whole group is stunning, man. I love this. Thank you so much for the request. My friends, be kind to yourselves out there. Tell yourselves you love yourselves. We'll see you on the next one.